Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dying times here.
Before there was Fallout, before there was Fist of the North Star, before Rage and Borderlands and all the B-grade atom bomb exploitation and contemporary gamerdom, there was Lawrence of Arabia, Mad fucking Max! And hey, thanks for the mullet phenomenon, Mel. Way to give Billy Ray Cyrus a fucking career and by association give his daughter an excuse to film HBO specials live from inside her fucking snatch. Max loses his car at the advent of the film because it's a latter-day Mad Max film and by God, it's the law, whereupon he takes it on the arches Eastwood style until at long last reaching the first proper town in this titty fucking series. Get the fuck out of here, first film. What do you think you are? The empirical baseline upon which the entire fiction was established? We got dune buggies to ride, dickhead. And no, the first film does not take place before the apocalypse. Even the director himself stated the opening of the first film included the phrase, "a few years from now," so as to put the movie, and I quote, into the post-apocalypse. Meaning whatever the ever-living apocalypse is, it happened before the first fucking movie. Take your whining ass Wikipedia wank fiction.
Turn that sumbitch sideways and stick it straight up your damn ass!
You want an explanation? It's a fucking movie. They upgraded the visuals when they got a butt fucking budget. Sit your ass down and enjoy the car chases and explosions, shit dick.
Hey, don't you understand? This is water. You can't live without it.
What's a little fallout, huh?
Silly goose, you can't drink an increasingly shitty video game series. Mad Mel files the fuck in with the rest of the Monty Python and the Holy Grail extras, but when he approaches the trade counter to proffer information, he gets the GameStop treatment.
Got nothing to trade, you got no business in Bartertown. Next.
I got skills, I can trade them.
Sorry, the brothel's full.
But when, per standard GameStop procedure, Daddy Doublechins over there offers 2 beads of wampum and a pubic wig for 5 solid gold PS4s and a vial of cancer cure, Mad Max leaves the negotiations to Miss Mauser.
Perhaps you got something to trade after all.
Keep talking.
24 hours of your life. In return, you'll get back what was stolen.
Sounds like a bargain.
It's not.
So it really is GameStop. But before he can meet Madame Buffon, he must submit to the same routine disarmament procedures that Australian citizens must now succumb to on their way out of the fucking womb.
Leave your weapons here, it's the law.
Mad Max, the Mary Poppins of homicide. Jollied out of Jabba's pussy pad, he takes a futuristic fucking Ewok elevator to what is doubtless the most defensible location in town. A glorified papal fuck fort made of maxi pads, bobby pins, and a Victoria's Secret camisole. While Asian Stevie Wonder blows away on the baritone sax, yes, I made that mistake just to piss you off, shitbag, in walks Aurora fucking Monroe!
But he's just a wins! And what did you do before all this?
I was a cop, a driver.
But how the world turns. One day cock of the walk, next to feather dust.
Explains the haircut anyway. And speaking of haircuts, the follically challenged Angry Anderson, yes, of rock band Rose Tattoo, soon solidifies his status as the closest thing this movie has to an actual fucking villain.
Congratulations. You're the first to survive the audition.
It seems Mondo Milf needs Max to murder the shit out of an oafish fuck named Master Blaster. No, not the NES classic whose OST has provided the unofficial soundtrack to every shitty YouTube channel you've ever watched. A Napoleonic little nugget named Master, mounting a man-boob Bigfoot by the name of Blaster. And that may sound like a stretch, but given his stranglehold on the entire ass-fucking energy industry and the fact that he's got the entire burg by the balls, there's been no finer symbiosis since Ben Shapiro rode a Basset Hound to reach the big boy shelf at KB Toys.
Why me? You got warriors, you got weapons, you just give the order.
We are dealing with subtleties here.
Can't you tell from the wrought iron murder dome? And it's into said murder dome Max is bound, but first he needs the lay of the land.
I want to get a closer look at him. How do I get in there?
You can shovel shit, can't you?
The anthem of Electronic Arts. EA Games. Shovel everything. And like Mel Gibson with most Mammarate Authority figures, it isn't long before he's forged a lifelong friendship.
That's my vehicle.
Disarm!
How much?
Fetch! Me master! Me run Bartertown!
Oh, sure, that's why you live in shit.
Me King Arab!
Allahu Akbar!
Seduced by the siren song of 72 virgins, Max moves to disarm, and by disarm, I mean plunge prick first into a plot device. You know, as effective as that is, I think I'm gonna need something even more high-pitched. If only I... Burasta-senpai shoulders this baby burden and bugs the fuck off, in no way shaken by the exposure of his Achilles heel. How do we know this, you ask? Well, I was tipped off around the time he challenged him to Mortal Kombat 15 motherfucking minutes later.
3 seconds, break neck.
Ooh, guns.
Hey look, it's reverse Australia.
Aunty! 2 men in dispute.
You know the law. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Only if one man is Movie Bob and the other happens to be made of gingerbread. Having set the snare, it's time to snap the shit shut, and what better place to do it than a giant motherfucking murder cage?
Hey, you guys ever use that Thunderdome, or do you just put it up for decoration?
You mean the Blood Dome?
Save it for the Semantics Dome, E.B. White.
Ooh, burn.
This blaster, 20 men enter, only him leave.
And it's your choice. Thunderdome.
If that sounds amazing, it's only because it goddamn is. But before we make with the murder, we must first meet the combatants.
You know him, you love him. He's Blaster!
The challenger, direct from out of the wasteland. He's bad, he's beautiful, he's crazy. It's the man with no name.
Huh, I wasn't aware Mad Max took place inside a Bethesda RPG.
Remember where you are. This is Thunderdome. Death is listening. And we'll take the first man that screams.
Oh god, this is gonna fucking rule. We got sledgehammers, we got spears, we got a mullet-bedecked Mel Gibson flopping around on a fuck swing. Drink it in, dickheads, cause love this movie, loathe this movie. This is one of the finest filmic fight sequences in the entire fucking franchise.
It's just a matter of time! It's just a matter of time! I swear to God, that'll stop your heart! Get some security out here! Nobody there!
Well, somebody stop the damn match! Enough's enough!
In the early going, it's apparent Mad Mel's met his match. That is, of course, until he acquires a fucking chainsaw. Sony chainsaw. Even a metal mallet fails to massacre the Master Blaster. Things are looking dire when at last he discovers the one thing no mortal man can physically withstand: the infantilized fuck shrieks of underage hentai bitches. As we all know, after anime o'clock, the clock strikes hammer time. before he can paint the cage with Corky's cranium, he comes down with a righteous case of the conscience.
You know the law.
This is Thunderdome. Kill him.
This wasn't part of the deal.
Deal? What do you mean, deal? No more methane. This place finished.
You gets realize you could ameliorate the ass gas shortage after a simple trip to White Castle, right?
No, little man. We've only just begun.
What the hell is the meaning of this?
Relax, Riri's. It's Thunderdome, not Phil Spector's house. But with the crowd turning on Tina, it's time to shake her artificial hips and woo 'em the fuck back.
You think I don't know the law? Wasn't it me who wrote it? Right or wrong? We had a deal. And the law says, bust the deal, face the wheel.
In here, I thought busting you was Ike Turner's job.
Deal!
So basically, if it rhymes, it's the law. Who founded this fucking place? Johnny Cochran? Although it does explain why when a girl walks in with an itty-bitty waist and a round thing in my face, I'll get sprung. But with that, they consult the wheel of torsion. While Count Von Count equivocates, Max witnesses a scrap metal murder go-round decree his desultory fate. A free trip to Venezuela? Why, Bernie Sanders informs me that's a utopia on Earth. A veritable agricultural cornucopia teeming with milk and... Ooh. Bound and toasting his tits off on Tatooine with Michelle Obama crumpling into a heap beneath him, Max seems motherfuck beyond all recognition until, of course, he's saved by a post-nuclear fucking monkey. No, I can't believe that's a sentence either. Downing the drafted restorative elixir, he seems set to subsist until fucking rescue. For one entire scene until he collapses in a pile of dehydrated dog shit. Mission accomplished, Spurious George! Fortunately, materializing on the artificially fogged horizon in front of what I can only assume is a semi-truck that left its headlights on, he's saved by a broad with a basket on her head, the shoulders of a defensive end for the Philadelphia Eagles, and suspiciously well-waxed legs. Yeah, where'd you score the thermonuclear carnauba wax there, lady loincloth? And how'd you locate his ass exactly? A fucking douchebag dowsing rod? She lugs his lazy ass back to the Great Valley to play Orphan Annie with Littlefoot and Ducky, but for all its Paleolithic pretense, it's around this time the movie degenerates into post-apocalyptic Peter Pan.
Then another. Then another. Then another. Then another. Then another. Another. I tell you what, why don't you say what if you like to sleep with your own sister?
The Lost Boys, it appears, have been waiting 16 years for someone old enough to watch Cinemax to come along and wash the Laffy Taffy out of their dreadlocks. And yes, given that none of these kids is older than a decade and a half, unless Max was a fetus in the first film, that means the nuclear catastrophe described in their cave wall caca canvas occurred before the first Mad Max. Ooh, lore nerds, that's gotta sting. The Hidden Valley Ranch, it appears, remains unboinked by the bomb, creating a self-sustaining ecosystem with fresh water, any manner of mammalia to murder, and a Bugs Bunny doll, because Warner Brothers would like to remind you all that they now have this franchise by the phallus. Their parents, reputed survivors of a plane crash meant to escape the conflagration, they set out into the wastes in search of other survivors and abandoned their kin for no readily discernible or remotely logical fucking reason. Instructed to herald the return of the pilot, Captain Walker, who, like Max, also had Hot Topic hair bleach in his sideburns.
Time counts. And keeps counting. They get so lonely for the high scrapers and the video.
The irradiated drinking water, the roving rape gangs, but enough about Detroit!
Now, there were places like these, cities. They were called cities. And they had the knowing of a lot of things. They had skyscrapers and videos, and they had the sonic...
And I could have swore I was driving around in them in the first movie, but then they fell into a plot hole, and ooh, look, a gust of wind!
Rage wins! Your mistress craves more!
We's loaded and waiting, Captain! We
Sure, George Miller, that warrants a loud declamatory musical sting. Refusing to fly smoldering wreckage. Who do you think he is, a Southwest Airlines pilot? Having refused, the Lost Boys elect to stay, while the Lost Girls bone down with a unicorn, an Oompa Loompa, and a triple amputee in the shittiest Alan Moore comic ever invented. Oh, sorry, wrong Lost Girls. Leading tower of logic that she is, Waxy McFootball Shoulders does the most responsible feminist thing imaginable. Send small children to their deaths in pursuit of a fucking fantasy. Oh, his death is on your hands. But when Skullamania's sleep is disturbed by a blue camera filter, Max naturally takes the Tykes to the safest conceivable location, the pig shit bespeckled sewers of Bartertown, where he was nearly motherfucked in a murder dome not 20 fucking scenes ago. That look courtesy of the Jared Fogle at Legoland collection. But when Captain Cueball catches wind of the kitties, he introduces himself by attempting blatant child murder. That is, until Master blasts him with a fucking feed ramp. Why are they slipping sliding the fuck in? Good question. Ask George Miller, because never is it once specified what the front flippin' fuck they are actually doing here. It's logical to assume maybe Max wants his wheels back, if not for the fact that by the time they bust their asses out of there, he takes the train instead. What the hell is happening, you ask? Mad Max is happening, motherfucker. And in lieu of a half-ass quotation of the climactic car chase from the Road Warrior featured in certain 2015 Neon Cake cash grabs I can mention, this film instead uses said chase as inspiration, then goes flush off the functionally fucking insane end. We got steam trains, a dickload of dune buggies, and Angry Anderson puffing and huffing away in a handcar, for Christ's sake. Lost Boys interlude and plot holes you could drive an interceptor through notwithstanding, this may well be the finest chase sequence in series history. A solid 10 on the death ray scale, and every point fucking earned.
Ah, big killer! Wait!
With Angry Anderson still refusing to fucking die and the suspiciously intact railroad reaching its end, he slams on the brakes because that's totally how trains work, and as the dust and dog shit parts, it's clear they face their most harrowing obstacle yet, a 6-year-old stick-up.
This is a stick-up! Anybody moves, and the dead mate! Oh, I think we're all dead, mate!
Skitter fucking on back to the Nambla pad, they corner the preschooler and his pops, and look, are you the same character for the last movie or not, asshole? Cause if not, I got some bad news for you. Bleaching your hair and changing your hat ain't stealthing up that mouth of Sauron's snout, Black Beauty. Whoever the fuck he is, he's good enough to allow himself to be hijacked, airlifting the little rascals to relative safety. That is, of course, if he can first clear a runway for the runaways.
Between them and us, there's not enough runway. There will be.
You know, thanks to the advent of widescreen DVDs, it appears there's more than enough room on the sides. If you just want to turn 15 feet to the right, you might, I don't know, avoid a full frontal ass ramming flush in their fucking face holes! I think I knew that guy.
Well, ain't we a pair? Raggedy Man.
A pair so smashed together in chafing-ass chainmail, my granny cleavage is bonded on the subatomic level.
Goodbye, soldier.
Great, now that she's been beaten by a man, we can look forward to 15 fucking albums detailing the experience. The kiddies shuffle the fuck off to Shangri-La. If by Shangri-La you mean a location with comparatively minimal natural resources, irradiated drinking water, and no sanitation. Why did you leave the Hidden Valley again? But with the film now fading into the foreground, allow me to offer the following query. Who the butt-fucking bad guy? Blaster turned out to be a Special Olympian, Master made a face turn, and Aunty just chased Max across the Serengeti in the bobsled from Cool Running so she could send him off with a smirk and a later, homie. Why did any of this happen?
I ordered a pizza. I hope that's okay.
Sure, I love pizza. This isn't spaghetti, it's linguine.
You're right, it is. I always get those confused.
Hey, all of us are human.
I'm glad we're friends.
Yeah, this is really working out.
There's no conflict in this movie.
Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, redheaded stepchild status aside, is an eminently watchable film, and with a mere $10 million budget, handily dismisses modern assertions that it's the most Hollywood of the original trilogy. A movie that both widens its cinematic scope while narrowing its focus on the characterizations it conveys. And if George Miller had a buffalo nickel for every time the Thunderdome concept had been satirized, alluded to, or outright ripped the fuck off, he would be Sultan of the fucking solar system. It ain't perfect, but at its best, Thunderdome will rock your thunder dong. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.